We've spoken about the subject matter before, legal person, past videos, but we're just trying to re-clarify. I think there's still confusion. People are confusing law with God's law with legal, and then they get confused when they're in the sandbox of the legal system, dealing with terms involving the word legal or the term legal person. So legal person, we're going to just read a standard definition. There's many places to find it, so I just picked one. This one just appeared predominantly on the internet, so we're going to use this one for argument's sake here. Legal person. In law, a legal person is any person or thing such as enter into contracts, sue and be sued, own property, and so on. Okay, so we're dealing with economics here. There's the only purpose for a legal person is generally in this sense, dealing with money. The reason for the term legal person is that some legal persons are not people. Why would they say that? Why would they say that? Because when we're understanding legal person, there's a lot of debate on this. People are arguing, oh, I'm a natural person, so they can't charge me. Taxes, these debates have lost in courts of law, where people have argued that they were a natural person. They're not in the standard sense of a legal person, which would be like a company or a corporation. So they argued they didn't need to pay tax. These arguments all failed. So just someone whistling Dixie on it, they were never going to win because they didn't understand what they were arguing. There is a term natural person in the legal system, but it's really a natural legal person. So the closest you could get to being not a corporation would be as the operator of it, or the one who operates this company as a director. You're just a natural legal person. You've been Latin, of course, you would have a legal surnamed tag on you for working the commerce end, so they'd know which Smith was involved in business or which Taylor was involved in business. But that's the closest you're going to get as an individual in the legal world as a person, a legal person. So when it's said here that they do not register, they're basically, legal persons are not people, okay? That some legal persons are not people. It brought me back to a letter that was pumped out by offices of the Registrar General in various places. In particular, Ontario would write back a lettered standard to anybody who inquired anything about the birth certificate system or the registration system and say that the Office of the Registrar General, to be clear, does not register people, it registers events. They also even stated that the birth certificate was never intended for legal identification, for personal identification. Now, what were they really saying? Well, they're saying this was not intended to be a natural person. It wasn't for that purpose, as you would think an individual is in society operating. So they're not registering people. Now, what is the Office of the Registrar General? Well, the Office of the Registrar General is a corporation. It is a trust. And it is a legal person in law. So it operates under the constraints of all that. So anything that it sends out is coming from its legal person. It didn't say that it was a natural person. It said that this is just basically a legal person because they're not registering people. So we have to really get our head around that concept. It's confusing the world of man and its laws, which are quite satanic, because it seems to have an essence of misleading and deceiving or inducing a belief in something